Most players spend their entire careers trying to beat one member of the Big Three in a Grand Slam final. Stan Wawrinka beat two of them. And he did it in their primes when they were supposed to be untouchable, when the script was already written. This is the story of the guy nobody believed in, including himself, who became the most dangerous man in tennis when it mattered most. And right now, in 2026, he's writing the final chapter. Stan the man Wawrinka. Stan the shadow, Stan the sledgehammer. For 15 years, he was known as the other Swiss guy, the dependable quarterfinalist, the one who'd give you a good match, shake your hand, and fade back into the press conference room while Roger collected another trophy. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't cocky, he didn't believe in himself. And then somehow he became one of the very few players to beat both Djokovic and Nadal in Grand Slam finals during their primes. He carved out 3 Grand Slam titles in the middle of the greatest era tennis has ever seen. And now, at 40 years old, he's taking one last swing. On December 19th, 2025, Stan posted a simple message on social media. One last push. Every book needs an ending. 2026 will be my last year on tour. No fanfare, no press conference, just Stan being Stan. Understated, poetic, honest. He spelled out passion and dream through acronyms highlighting perseverance, ambition, sacrifice, success, injuries, obsession, never giving up, discipline, resilience, evolution, and memories. So how did a guy who was ranked 95th in the world at age 23, written off as a journeyman, a stepping stone, transform into a 3-time major champion in Grand Slam finals? How does someone with that much self-doubt develop that much ice in his veins? And what does it mean to watch him play his final matches, knowing every point could be his last? Let's break it down. Let's start with the obvious. Stan Wawrinka has the greatest single-handed backhand in the modern era. Full stop. Not the most consistent, that's Federer. Not the prettiest, maybe that's Gasquet. But the most devastating, that's Stan. When he catches it clean, it doesn't matter if you're Novak Djokovic in the 2015 French Open final. It doesn't matter if you're Rafael Nadal in the 2014 Australian Open final. You're getting destroyed. The thing about Stan's backhand isn't just power, it's timing. It's the way he steps into it like he's swinging a battle axe. It's the sound it makes when it rips cross court at 85 miles per hour and lands on the line. Commentators lose their minds. Opponents look at their strings like something's broken. Before I share the most shocking thing about Stan's backhand, please subscribe to my new channel. It really helps me keep making epic tennis content for you. Okay, so here's the kicker. Stan didn't believe in his backhand. He'd bail on it, he'd run around it, he'd slice it safe and hope for a forehand. Magnus Norman, his coach during his peak, literally had to reprogram his brain to believe the backhand was a weapon, not a liability. Once he believed it, forget about it. Stan started hunting backhands. He'd bait guys into hitting to his backhand side just so he could unload. In the 2016 US Open final, he hit 46 backhand winners. Let me repeat that. 46 backhand winners against Novak Djokovic in a final. That's not tennis, that's a statement. And even now at 40, playing on borrowed time, that backhand is still there. In May 2025, at an ATP Challenger event in Aix-en-Provence, he upset the world number 26 Alexei Popyrin with that same weapon. The magic hasn't left. The belief hasn't faded. Stan Wawrinka didn't win his first Grand Slam until he was 28 years old. For context, Federer won his first at 21. Nadal at 19, Djokovic at 20, Alcaraz at 19. Or Sinner just won his first at 22. Stan? He was pushing 30, ranked outside the top 10 for most of his 20s, and widely considered a guy who'd never break through. And you know what? He believed them. There are interviews from 2012 where Stan openly says he doesn't think he's good enough to win a slam. He talks about Federer like he's a different species. He thanks the Big Three for inspiring him while looking like he's already accepted his fate as their sparring partner. But here's the thing about late bloomers. When they finally bloom, they're dangerous. Stan didn't have the youthful arrogance of Djokovic or the born champion aura of Federer. He had nothing to lose. And once Magnus Norman convinced him that he could win, not just compete, but win, Stan became a different animal. He got a tattoo on his forearm that says, "Ever tried, ever failed. No matter, try again, fail better." Samuel Beckett's quote about perseverance through failure. That's Stan. That's his entire identity. He's the guy who failed for 15 years and then said, "What if I just stopped failing?" And the crazy part? When it mattered most, when the lights were brightest, when the pressure was suffocating, Stan played his best tennis. 2014 Australian Open final versus Nadal. He defeated the world number one in 4 sets, down 2 sets to 1, came back. Backhand winners everywhere. 2015 French Open final versus Djokovic. He defeated the world number one in 4 sets, denying Djokovic's calendar slam dreams. 2016 US Open final versus Djokovic again. He defeated the world number one in 4 sets. Djokovic just won Wimbledon and was the heavy favorite. Stan didn't care. 3 slam finals, 3 wins, all against number 1 ranked opponents. That's not luck. That's mental fortitude. Let's talk about Stan's record against the big 3 in Grand Slams. Against Federer, 3-6 in slams. Not bad for the other Swiss guy. Against Nadal, 3-1 in slams, including that iconic win at the 2014 Australian Open final, and then he took a beat down at the 2017 Australian Open. Against Djokovic, Stan leads Djokovic 2-0 in Grand Slam finals, though Djokovic holds a 5-4 advantage overall in slam matches. In Djokovic's 13 Grand Slam finals from 2014, Wimbledon through the 2020 Australian Open, his only 2 losses came at the hands of Wawrinka. That's insane. In Djokovic's 35 Grand Slam championship matches, Wawrinka is one of only 2 opponents. Alongside Carlos Alcaraz, he is not defeated. Until losing to Nadal at the 2017 French Open final, Stan Wawrinka was 3-0 in Grand Slam finals. One of the rare multi-time Grand Slam champions with a perfect finals record in the Open era. He's the only man to beat Djokovic twice in Grand Slam finals. He's one of just 3 players to have defeated Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Andy Murray, and Rafael Nadal at Grand Slams. He's done things that guys like Federer, Berdych, Tsonga, from the Hall of Very Good Players, never could. And here's what's wild. He didn't do it by being better than them overall. Wawrinka has a combined 12-63 record against the big 3. Nadal 3-19, Federer 3-23, Djokovic 6-21. But in Grand Slam finals, he is 3-1. Stan's career is full of inexplicable losses to guys ranked outside the top 50. He'd lose in the second round of a Masters 1000, then 3 weeks later take down Djokovic in a slam final. He was inconsistent, frustrating, boom or bust. But when he boomed, everyone was in trouble. So what held Stan back from being a consistent top 5 player? 2 things: confidence and the forehand. The confidence issue we've covered. For most of his career, Stan didn't believe, and when you don't believe, you lose matches you should win. But the forehand, that's the technical flaw. Stan's forehand is solid, but it's not a weapon. It's not Federer's wand or Nadal's lasso or Djokovic's wall. It's just fine. And in the modern game, fine doesn't cut it when guys like Alcaraz and Sinner are hitting 100 miles per hour forehands with topspin for fun. Stan's forehand broke down under pressure, right? He'd spray errors, he'd get tight, opponents would attack it relentlessly, knowing the backhand was the real danger. And then there's the movement. Stan was never faster. He compensated with positioning and strength, but against the ultra-athletic next-gen guys, Alcaraz, Sinner, even Zverev, he just couldn't keep up. Add in injuries and knee surgeries that sent him tumbling down the rankings, and you've got a guy who peaked late and faded fast. But here's the thing, none of that matters when you're holding 3 Grand Slam trophies. Let's fast forward to now, to the final chapter. Stan entered 2026 ranked 157th in the world. Most 40-year-olds would have retired years ago, but Stan isn't most players. In 2025, he went 25-23 in matches, basically 50-50 tennis. He took wildcards at the French Open and Wimbledon. He played challenger events. He kept grinding. And then, on January 4th, 2026, something happened. Playing for Switzerland at the United Cup in Perth, Stan faced France's Arthur Rinderknecht, a brutal 3-hour, 3-set battle. 5-7, 7-6, 7-6. Stan won both tiebreaks at 40 years old. The crowd went insane. Stan looked exhausted, but euphoric. After the match, he said, "It's amazing to start the year like this for me." 2 days later, he played Italy's Flavio Cobolli, lost in a third-set tiebreak after winning the second-set tiebreak. The classic Stan roller coaster, amazing when it works, heartbreaking when it doesn't. When asked if he might keep playing beyond 2026, Stan admitted he struggles to play mentally free. "I care too much sometimes. I love what I'm doing. I'm always going to fight." That's the tragedy and the beauty of Stan Wawrinka. He cares so much that it's both his greatest strength and his biggest weakness. The modern game has moved towards speed, youth, and relentless baseline warfare. Players like Alcaraz and Sinner dominate with their athleticism and consistency. Alcaraz is now 6-1 in Grand Slam finals with 6 major titles. Sinner has become a dominant force. Zverev, Fritz, the new generation, they're all faster, younger, hungrier. Stan was a throwback, a one-handed backhand artist with a tattoo and a 1,000-yard stare. He doesn't fit the mold of Alcaraz's joy or Sinner's composure or Fritz's all-American hype, but he didn't need to. Stan Wawrinka's career is proof that you don't have to be the most talented, the most confident, or the most consistent to be great. You just have to show up when it matters most. 3 Grand Slams, all against #1 ranked players, all in the Big Three era. That's not a footnote. That's a legacy. He won 16 tour-level titles and over $37 million in career earnings. He won Olympic gold with Federer in 2008 and helped Switzerland win its only Davis Cup in 2014. He's the greatest what-if player who actually did it. What if he'd believed in himself earlier? What if he'd stayed healthy? What if he'd had that backhand his whole career? But maybe that's the beauty of Stan. He wasn't supposed to win. He was supposed to be Federer's doubles partner, the guy who made the quarters and went home. Instead, he became the guy who made Djokovic and Nadal mortal. As Magnus Norman said, in his prime, if Stan had a good day, no one was safe. He was really good in the big moments. Grand Slam champions have something that other players don't have. As he prepares for Melbourne, the place where it all clicked for him in 2014, Stan wants to finish strong. He recently noted, "I still want to push my limits and finish this journey on the best note possible. I still have dreams in this sport." Stan, we know you're out there grinding, still fighting, still caring too much. Thank you for proving that doubt doesn't disqualify you, that late bloomers can still explode, that you don't need to be the greatest of all time to have the greatest moments. You were never the favorite, but for 3 perfect weeks, you were unbeatable. 2026 is your final year. Every match is a gift. Every backhand winner is a reminder. Every 3-hour battle is proof that champions don't fade quietly. They roar until the very end. Stan the man, forever a champion. One last push. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of tennis's underdogs, hit that like button and subscribe for more epic, inspiring stories about the greatest game on earth, tennis. See you in the next one.